Hello folks, it's about time for another book haul. I've got quite a few books to show you and let's just get straight into it. The first one is this one here, which is called The Heart of Jesus Valentino, A Mother's Story. This is a biography, and the reason I have this is because I designed the cover for it, which was really exciting. It was a challenging brief and something that I thought was quite daunting to begin with, but I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. It's got printed inside flaps, and yeah, overall I'm just really pleased with how it looks. If you'd like me to do a video talking about my process of designing this and the subject matter of the book, I'm happy to do that, but if I start talking about it now, this video is going to be hours long. Alright, the next book is The Raven Boys, and I actually bought all 4 of the Raven cycle in hardback because I love these books so much. I liked them the first time I read them, and then I just couldn't get them out of my head. So I both bought the set of 4 books and also listened to them on audiobook twice. So highly recommend these, and yeah, I like the hardback design and the way they are under the dust jacket as well. They look very kind of clean and classic. So that's The Raven Boys. And then I've subscribed to a few bookish boxes, book subscription boxes, because as a book designer I've been asked a couple of times to design things for book subscription boxes. So I thought that that would be a really good thing to get into doing more of. It's enjoyable. It's something that you then see people posting about these things on Instagram, and I think it's a fantastic community. So I ordered a couple of different boxes, and I'm going to try some different ones over the next few months. It can be quite expensive, but so yeah, I've got to stagger it a little bit. But this first one came from the Scribbler box, which is this one here, and it's a box for writers more than just readers. So it's specifically tailored to people who write things, and I've started doing a little bit of writing myself, so I thought that would be an interesting box to look at, and that it's the kind of thing that I'd be interested in designing things for as well. So anyway, this box had a book in it, and that was Sadie by Courtney Summers. I've talked about this in a wrap-up, but yeah, the hardback is really beautiful. It's got a lovely texture to the dust jacket, and underneath it's got this, the card has got a kind of fleck to it, and there's an embossed switchblade on there that it's not foiled or anything, it's just very subtle, and probably is not showing up very well at all. But then on the spine you've got a black foil. So yeah, as a design, that's really lovely, and it came with a signed book plate as well. So that was the Scribbler box. Next up we had Owl Crate, and the first one is from the September box, and I think everyone has received theirs now, so it shouldn't be a spoiler. But this was Mirage by Somaya Daoud, and I believe this is science fiction. It is YA, and it's got a kind of Middle Eastern, if not setting, then it's inspired by Middle Eastern culture, and certainly you get a sense of that from both the cover and the end papers. Look at that beautiful pattern, and also underneath you've got a gold foiled feather on the front and gold foil on the spine. So yeah, probably not the sort of book I would have picked up myself. I don't read a lot of YA. I say that, but recently I have read quite a bit of YA as a sort of research thing for potentially doing some designs in that field. But yeah, I'm quite interested and intrigued by that one. The next book is from the October Owl Crate box. So spoilers ahoy if you haven't received your October box, but spoilers henceforth was this one here. This is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and I don't know anything about this. I think I did read the the blurb, but I will just show you the design a bit because I'm a designer, so you have to suffer through this. But yeah, that is just beautiful. I love I love it when books have a different board or colour on the spine like that. It makes it look really classic, but this one just looks really sharp, I think, because of the red and black. So I'm going to be awful and just read a bit of the blurb to you. It says, now for whoever holds the scroll of 1,000 prayers, a new wish will be granted. A new age is about to dawn. So it sounds like it's about a young woman who has trained all her life to hide her yokai nature. So I think it's fantasy, and it sounds like it's inspired by Japanese culture. Not sure if it's set in this world or another world, but I'm guessing another world. I'm being very vague and unhelpful on that. Sorry. But then the next one also came in the October Owl Crate box, which is this one here, Pride by Ibi Zoboy. And this is, the subtitle is A Pride and Prejudice Remix. So this is a retelling of Jane Austen's classic. And when is it set? Is it present day? It doesn't tell me at a glance. But yes, it's, as you can probably tell from the cover, it's a retelling with African-American protagonists. So that looks really interesting, and I'm gonna say it as well, the end papers are exquisite. Look at that. So you've got the two main characters, presumably the Elizabeth and Darcy pair, and the board is pink, the spine has got this beautiful foiling on it, and the inside flaps are pink as well. And I believe this is an Owl Crate exclusive cover, and that the other normal cover is the same but with a different colour on the front. So that's rather neat. Okay, just kind of have a little bit of a reshuffle here, and the rest of the books here are ones that I have bought from my local bookshop, two of which I've read. The first being Pages for You by Sylvia Brownrigg, and I picked this up because my friend Ellie was reading it. I saw that on Goodreads and thought, oh, that's one I've been wanting to read for a while, and I sort of tried to take last week off. It didn't really work, but I took a little bit of time to do some reading, and I've actually finished this, so I will talk about this in a wrap-up. In fact, the wrap-up may already be up. I will link it in the cards if it is, and yeah, I will talk more about it, but I really, really like this book. The writing is exquisite. Likewise, I have read The Imaginary Lives of James Poneke by Tina Macaretti, and this is a New Zealand book by a New Zealand author about a young Maori man who goes to London, and he is considered to be a curiosity in London, in Victorian London, but as well as being a curiosity himself, he is surrounded by things that he is just fascinated by. So yeah, I will talk about that in a wrap-up as well. The final, I'm going to say 4 books. There are another 2 over there, but I've left the best till last. We've got Literary Witches. This is a bit like Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, but I would say maybe a bit more of a sophisticated version of that, or a more adult version of that. This is, as the title would suggest, a collection of female writers throughout history, and it's wonderful. So I'll show you each page. So this one's for Toni Morrison. So it's got a title page for each, and then over the page there's a gorgeous illustration of the author, and it has some kind of decoration around the outside that is to do with their writing. And then the text itself isn't just a biography of this author. Instead, it's more like poetry. So I'll read you this one. Queen Toni sees, cleaving from the skin of every person, the child they were, their parents, great-grandparents, all the way to the first human. She can see this ancestor's original hurt, carried around in the generations like a splinter in the spleen. So there are a series of these little pieces of prose about the poet or writer or novelist. And then down the bottom there's a little bit about the author themselves down here, and some recommended reading as well, which is great. So for Toni Morrison it says recommended reading: Most Magical, Beloved, Novels for the Ages, Song of Solomon and Sula, and Banned Book, The Bluest Eye. And yeah, this I'm working my way through. Obviously it's quite a quick read, but it's got all sorts of authors in here, many that I'm familiar with. I mean, you've got Emily Dickinson, you've got Janet Frame, who's a New Zealand author, Audre Lorde, Angela Carter, Virginia Woolf, but many in there that I was not familiar with as well. So this would make a fantastic gift for a book lover, or, you know, to buy for yourself, because it's wonderful. And it's got that kind of spooky, witchy vibe to it. Okay, then we've got this one here, which is Bibliophile. This is by Jane Mount, and it is an illustrated compendium of bookish things. So this has got, yeah, all sorts in, and it's all illustrated. So we start off with, you've got throughout the book pages on beloved bookstores, and there's actually a New Zealand one in here too, and you've got different types of books. So this one here is cult classics. You've got a stack of them there, so there's a lovely balance between the illustrations and the text, because the books that are described here aren't necessarily all in here, and vice versa. So yeah, I think it's a really fun thing if you're a book lover and love the design of books as well, sort of spotting them and going, oh yeah, I know that edition. So yeah, it's the edition of The Secret History that I have on my shelves. And it's just a delightful thing. Beloved bookshops, yeah, there's a section on novels of the early 1900s, Disenchantment. There's a bit about bookshop cats. So again, it's one of those books that would be a wonderful gift, a wonderful Christmas present for somebody who loves books, or to buy for yourself because it's amazing. Okay, I've got two more books, and they're just over here. No, that was a lie. I've got three more books. There's this one here which I'm reading at the moment, and I bought this primarily because it is just gorgeous. I saw the cover and just fell in love. And also it's about animals. So this is a memoir by Montgomery, and it's called How to Be a Good Creature, a Memoir in 13 Animals. And so this is divided up into 13 chapters, and each is about an animal that has influenced this author in some way or another. And I've read nearly half of it, and just love the way she talks about these animals, and some of them aren't around anymore, and some of them are animals, for instance some ostriches that she saw in Australia and she followed and studied, and they, you know, she wasn't there for very long following them, but she felt like she had some kind of bond with them and grew to respect them more, and so she talks about that. The book itself, obviously the jacket is gorgeous, as you see, but underneath we've got red and again a contrasting spine in a purple, gold foil on the edges, and oh yes, the end papers. The end papers are red too and just have this kind of texture of flecks of lighter colours. And deckled edges, which I don't enjoy reading, but I think it looks very pretty. And if you want to see my whole video on deckled edges, that's when the edges are ragged and not even, not trimmed. I will link that in the cards. Okay, 2 more now, I promise. Right, we've got this one here, another one on feminism. It's What Would Boudica Do by E. Foley and B. Coates. And this is everyday problems solved by history's most remarkable women. And I haven't read any of this yet, but it has got many amazing humans in it. Mary Wollstonecraft, Mae West, Hypatia, Sappho, Frida Kahlo. There are many. It's a 3-paged contents page, so that's awesome. And it's got illustrations too, and this design is gorgeous. It's got just plain blue end papers and a sort of grey blue inside, and all of that matches to the dust jacket, which has obviously got fluoro pink on it. It's just really fun. Oh, there's a spot UV and embossing on the title too. So all in all, very well designed. And of course it is, because it's Faber and Faber. Right, last book. And I haven't even had a chance to look at this one yet, but it's got to be included because it's stunning and I am so looking forward to just sitting down and going through this. It is The Writer's Map, an atlas of imaginary lands, and this is edited by Hugh Lewis-Jones. So, my goodness, this is stunning. This has got maps created by authors and illustrators. You've got the Marauders map in there from the Harry Potter films, and yeah, it's got a whole lot of history about that, and it's by Mirafora Mina, who was one of the designers from Mina Lima, who worked on all the Harry Potter graphics. Yeah, you've got Tolkien's maps, and I believe I've got a list on the back here. There's Coralie Bickford-Smith, book designer extraordinaire, Isabel Greenberg, Robert McFarlane, David Mitchell, many amazing ones in here. Philip Pullman, Sandy Toksvig. So yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to sitting down and having a really good look through this. And maps are something that I find fascinating, whether they're real maps or maps of real imagined places. And there have been so many books like this recently, but I think this is the best one I've seen of literary maps. So that is very, very exciting to me. I will hopefully, yeah, be giving some feedback on how wonderful that is before too long. As always, thank you very much for watching. That is all of the books that I have acquired in the past couple of months. Let me know down in the comments, what's the most exciting book that you have received or bought in the past, say, 6 months? I would love to know. My wallet probably wouldn't, but you know, it could be drugs. Instead, it's books. Alright, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!